I've long believed blueberries are a superfood, brain-boosting, heart-protective, and memory-enhancing. But recently, I stumbled onto something surprising. There are 3 common foods that, when eaten with blueberries, can actually undo those powerful benefits, especially for us seniors. And I want to share that right now, because it could make all the difference in how much we truly benefit from every berry. Let me be real. I don't dwell on contradictions, but I do care about what actually works. I adore blueberries, anthocyanins, antioxidants, fiber, vitamin C. Their list of benefits reads like a health manifesto. Scientific journals tell us blueberries may reduce heart attack risk, support bone strength, slow cognitive decline, protect vision, help digestion, and lower blood sugar spikes. That's why I keep a bowl of them in the fridge. But when I learned they don't always play nicely with other foods, particularly for older stomachs or bodies with slowed metabolism, I had to dig deeper. Turns out our intuition can betray us. Here's what I discovered. 1. Blueberries plus yogurt, or any dairy, equals nutrient blocker. I used to top my yogurt with blueberries every morning, but research from Harvard's nutritionfacts.org revealed a twist. Dairy can interfere with blueberry absorption, especially their anthocyanins, the very antioxidants that lower blood pressure. In one study, people who paired berries with milk or yogurt actually showed less increase in antioxidant levels in their bloodstream compared to when they ate blueberries with water. That means a delicious habit may actually blunt the key benefits. To keep getting the blood pressure support, memory boost, and vascular protection, I now enjoy blueberries with water or just let them stand alone. It took a habit shift, but I still get that creamy yogurt, just not at the same moment as the berries. 2. Blueberries plus calcium-rich foods equals absorption conflict. Another unexpected insight came from St. Luke's Health's blog. Blueberries contain oxalates, and when paired with high-calcium foods like cheese, fortified milks, or supplements, they can reduce calcium absorption. None of us wants brittle bones or diminished strength. As someone conscious of bone health, that rang loud. So I've stopped consuming large portions of blueberries alongside my evening glass of fortified milk or supplement routine. Instead, I separate them by a couple of hours. That way, I still get the benefits of each without interference. 3. Blueberries plus blood thinners or cholesterol medications equals possible drug interaction. Many of us over 60 take medications like warfarin, a blood thinner, or statins to manage cholesterol. I discovered via an Ayurveda and health data blog that blueberry juice may interfere with the way the body metabolizes warfarin, increasing the risk of excessive bleeding. Another source suggests pterostilbene, compound in blueberries, can also affect how certain drugs are processed. This part raised red flags. I now always check with my doctor before adding blueberry smoothies or juice to my routine if I'm on any medication. It's not that the blueberries are dangerous. They're not. But they may need thoughtful timing or dosage if mixed with certain prescriptions. So here are the 3 foods to avoid mixing with blueberries. Dairy, especially yogurt and milk, because it reduces antioxidant absorption. High calcium foods or supplements due to oxalate interference. Certain medications, especially blood thinners and cholesterol drugs, unless your doctor says it's safe. I know that sounds like limitations, but hear me out. I've come to think of it as empowerment. Instead of blanding out my blueberry habit, I adjusted it. Now I savor blueberries with water, fruit salads, or oatmeal, not dairy. I wait a few hours post-calcium supplements before enjoying them. And I keep clear communication with my doctor about their interaction with my prescriptions. That way, I still get the superfood's benefits safely and consistently. Here's a deeper breakdown of why this matters in 3 angles. A. Antioxidant power won't reach you if blocked. Our bodies need anthocyanins from blueberries to lower blood pressure, protect the heart, and shield our cells from oxidation. The dairy interaction showed up in studies showing reversed antioxidant effects, not a delay, but actual reduction. As a senior, high blood pressure and oxidative stress risk rise naturally. Why dull the natural support offered by berries? Now I savor them first thing on an empty stomach or mixed with water, or in savory dishes with healthy oil or nuts to boost absorption without interference. B. Bone health needs. Both calcium and blueberries. Not at the same time. Blueberries are a strong ally for vision, memory, gut health, and metabolic support, but bones need steady calcium. Oxalates in blueberries impede calcium absorption, especially in older adults already vulnerable to bone density loss. The remedy? Separate the timing. Take calcium at breakfast and eat blueberries mid-morning instead. It's a small schedule change with long-term benefits. C. Safety over trend, especially when medications are involved. I used to think smoothies were always harmless. It's fruit, right? But medications like warfarin operate on a narrow band of dosage. Blueberry compounds may inhibit enzymes that break them down, potentially increasing effects and bleeding risk. That's not theoretical. Physicians have cautioned about this. Now I consult before combining them, and if I'm using those drugs, I may opt for whole blueberries instead of concentrated juice, or moderate my intake. Let me anchor this with how my meals changed. Breakfast: oatmeal topped with blueberries and mixed berries, no milk in the bowl. I drink tea separately. Mid-morning, a handful of blueberries with almonds or water. Keeps my energy gentle, benefits absorption. Lunch: blueberries in a spinach salad, paired with olive oil, not dairy. Supplements: calcium or multivitamin midday, no blueberries at that same time. Evening: maybe a small bowl of blueberries over a non-dairy dessert or stirred into Greek yogurt, but eaten 2+ hours after medications or dairy. These tweaks might sound meticulous, but for us seniors, small changes compound into big improvements in blood pressure, clarity, joint comfort, and mood. That's the power of informed nutrition. Now let me step back for a moment and really underline why this information matters so much for us seniors. Blueberries aren't just a snack. They've been called brain berries by scientists at Tufts University because they help fight cognitive decline and even improve motor skills in older adults. For years, I thought the more I piled them on my plate, the better. But once I realized that the timing, the combinations, and the context matter just as much as the quantity, I started noticing real changes. My memory felt sharper, I had more steady energy, and even my digestion felt smoother. That was the turning point for me, understanding that the way we eat foods can sometimes matter more than the foods themselves. Think about it like this. You can buy the highest quality car in the world, but if you put in the wrong fuel, or if you pour oil and coolant in at the same time in the wrong spots, the car won't run at its full potential. That's how blueberries work in our bodies. They're powerful, but only if we let them shine on their own, instead of dimming their light by combining them with the wrong companions. And here's something else I learned. Digestion slows down with age. Our stomach acids decrease, enzyme production drops, and our gut microbiome changes. What this means is that food interactions hit us harder as we get older. A 25-year-old might eat blueberries with yogurt and not feel much difference, but for someone in their 60s, 70s, or 80s, the difference in absorption can be the line between a measurable health benefit and nothing at all. That realization made me rethink not just blueberries, but my entire food pairing habits. I'll give you a quick personal example. A few months ago, I was on a routine checkup. My doctor had been monitoring my blood pressure, which had been stubbornly hovering on the higher side despite all my healthy habits. I mentioned my morning ritual of blueberries and yogurt. He paused, thought about it, and then suggested I try separating them. At first, I rolled my eyes a little. How could that tiny tweak matter? But I gave it a shot. Within 6 weeks, my blood pressure numbers dropped noticeably. That wasn't a coincidence. It was the antioxidants finally doing their job without being blunted by dairy proteins. Now let's talk about bones, because I know that's a concern many of us share. Osteoporosis and bone density loss are real worries. Blueberries with their vitamin K, manganese, and polyphenols do help bones. But if we block calcium absorption at the same time, we might actually weaken the benefit. I started experimenting with timing, For instance, if I take my calcium supplements at lunch, I'll push my blueberry snack to mid-afternoon. It's such a simple fix, but it protects both nutrients and allows them to complement each other without clashing. Think of it as giving each nutrient its solo performance before bringing in the next act. Now, the medication side of things is the most delicate and, in my opinion, the most important to talk about. Because here's the truth. Most of us don't think twice about how natural foods interact with prescriptions. We assume if it grows on a bush, it must be safe no matter what. But doctors know better, and so should we. Warfarin, statins, even some diabetes medications, they all run on tight margins inside the body. Blueberry compounds, particularly when concentrated into juice or extracts, can alter the way these drugs are metabolized in the liver. And let's face it, none of us wants to end up with internal bleeding or liver strain just because we thought a smoothie was harmless. One of my friends, George, is a perfect example. He's in his 70s, and he swears by blueberries. But he's also on a blood thinner. For years, he'd been making a huge blueberry smoothie every morning. One day, during a routine blood test, his doctor noticed his clotting time was way off balance, dangerously so. They traced it back to the blueberries interacting with his medication. George had to scale back, not cut out blueberries entirely, but change the timing and portion size. That adjustment probably saved him from a serious complication. Another angle I want to bring in is digestion. Blueberries are rich in fiber, which is a blessing for most seniors because it keeps things moving. But when paired with heavy dairy or supplements, that fiber can sometimes ferment awkwardly in the gut, causing bloating or discomfort. I used to think it was just old age stomach, but once I separated the blueberries from the dairy, the bloating disappeared. Suddenly, I felt lighter, less sluggish, and my digestion felt more predictable. That's a hidden benefit that's rarely talked about. Here's something fascinating. Blueberries don't just act on the body, they act on the brain. Studies have shown that seniors who consume blueberries regularly perform better on memory and learning tasks. But the catch is, you only get those benefits if the anthocyanins actually reach your brain through your bloodstream. If you're neutralizing them with milk proteins or blocking absorption with calcium, you're missing the memory-boosting punch entirely. And honestly, that's one of the biggest reasons I'm careful now. Because for me, staying mentally sharp is priceless. You might be wondering, okay, so when's the best time to eat blueberries? After experimenting, I found that mornings on an empty stomach or mid-morning between meals work wonders. The antioxidants hit your bloodstream faster, the fiber supports your digestion, and you don't risk the interference from supplements or heavy meals. Sometimes I also like them after dinner, just a small handful, when I'm not taking any medication. It feels like a sweet little brain and heart tonic before bed. Now, let's not forget the bigger picture. Blueberries are part of a family of dark-colored fruits, like blackberries, cherries, and grapes, that all carry similar antioxidants. The same principles apply. Don't dull their impact by pairing them with the wrong foods. Once you get into the rhythm of separating them, it becomes second nature. I even started writing down a little food log just to notice how I felt. The difference in energy and clarity was undeniable. The most empowering part of all this is realizing that we're not helpless against aging. Yes, we grow older, and yes, our bodies change, but small mindful choices like when and how we eat blueberries can still swing the odds in our favor. Every time I pop a handful of blueberries now, I think of them as little blue allies working to keep my arteries clean, my brain firing, and my bones stronger. And I feel confident that I'm not wasting their potential. So here's my encouragement to you. Don't just eat blueberries blindly. Respect them. Give them space to do their magic. Think about the timing, the combinations, and your unique health situation. That's the secret to turning a simple fruit into a real health strategy. So, if you've loved blueberries but wondered why your blood pressure didn't budge or why your skin didn't glow as you expected, check your food pairings. Skip dairy, separate calcium, and chat with your doctor if you're on medication. A superfood works super only if you give it the right conditions. If you found this insight helpful, please hit the like button. It helps others discover it. Share this with friends or family who love blueberries, especially if they're 60 or older. And if you want more clear science-backed tips for aging gracefully, subscribe to the channel and nudge that bell so you won't miss the next one. Here's to smart sipping, informed choices, and healthier years ahead. See you next time.